Hey everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. I'm kind of out of it today. I really didn't know what I wanted to use or what look I even wanted to go for today. So I ended up pulling my Sigma new mod palette. Mine's very dirty. I really like this palette and I'm starting to figure out why. This year there's been a lot of these types of color releases here, and I'm drawn to this color story because I like it so much. I like the pinky and the mauves and the purples, and I know this. And as I was sitting here doing this look, let's go ahead and get started. The first shade I'm going to go into is Sophisticated, and we're going to pick it up. But as I was doing this look, I started thinking, how many color stories like this I probably have in my collection. And it would be a good bit considering, this is a color story that I like. I'm gravitated to it. And that's fine. But how many of these do we need? I mean, do we need this color story from every brand? I mean, apparently I do. But I'm starting to wonder, do I really? And then I start to make up excuses for why I need it. Ready? Different formulas, different textures, different price points. But yet, at the end of the day, nobody's going to know what eyeshadow palette I'm wearing, with the exception of a couple. There are a couple eyeshadow palettes that you can, if somebody's wearing them, And for an example of that, I'll give you one. It's the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 palette. If you wear that, I mean, you have to wear other colors in that palette, obviously. But if you wear that particular shade, it's like a orange fireball. I don't know. It's just such a vibrant color. I guess that palette if you're into makeup, if you know her palettes. But I started thinking this look right here is nothing new. I don't want to say it's not spectacular because I mean, I think it's wonderful, to be honest. I really like the look personally. But again, I'm going to because why? I'm gravitated to this color story. Nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, there isn't. A lot of people are gravitated to this color story. And I would almost say that this is probably my favorite palette by Sigma to date. Which, I don't regret purchasing, obviously. But at the same time, I'm sitting here as I was doing this look, I was like, this look kind of looks familiar to me. I'm going to go into the shade New Mod. Anyway, I was like, this shade this look kind of looks familiar to me. And I'm not saying it's a dupe, because that's not what I'm saying. Because again, textures and formulas are different. That is true. It is hard just to, if you're duping that. Now, if you're just duping a color story, then possibly. But to actually dupe the formulas, that's a little bit harder, I think. Can they get close? Sure. But can they get it exact? No. But I was like, this kind of reminds me of a look I created using one of Natasha Denona palettes. Now, the price point here isn't that different. Don't get me wrong. But it is a little bit different, right? we can agree that Sigma is a little bit cheaper than Natasha. However, you do get one extra shadow in Natasha's palettes. And I was just looking at this palette and I was like, man, it really does look familiar. And it kind of reminded me of her Dream palette, a look I just created using that. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go into the shade Street Style now. But I started thinking, like, how many of these palettes do I need, right? Because once I created this look, I started thinking, well, if I'm going to recreate this look ever again, I'm probably will use my Natasha Denona palette because I just like those palettes, you know? I'm a fan. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I like this palette. And again, like I said, this is probably my favorite palette by Sigma, right? But I don't need both. Technically. But yet, I have both. And yet, if I didn't have one, I would to this day even repurchase it. You know what I mean? So that's how I know that I have a problem here. And I'm wondering why I have this problem of needing palettes that are pretty much the same. Like, why do we need that? It doesn't even make sense to me. I'm going to take that same shade, Street Style, and take it along the lower lash line. And the thing with it is that I also don't think these are the only, like, I think I have other palettes that are kind of right up the same color story. Again, not exact same, but kinda. And if I do, again, the chances are that if I'm going to create a look like this, I'm going to go into my Natasha Denona palette, right? So why then do I keep my other palettes? Is what I can't figure out. Like, why can I not let them go? I mean, they are pretty palettes, don't get me wrong. I don't know. And then I was like, well, if somebody else came out with a palette just like this from a brand that I like, chances are I'm going to purchase it. And I go back to why, though. Really having problems with understanding. And I'm a fool. Like, I completely understand that part of it. But it's why am I the fool? Because then I started thinking, oh, well, let's pretend in some world I should go through the Natasha Denona palette, right? Well, I got something that's kind of similar, right, to use. We're going to go into grunge. And I'm going to put it right up against the lower lash line. Okay, so pretend I went through the Natasha Denona palette. And I don't even know, that would never happen, but we're pretending. Okay, so I did this. So I have this palette, so to say, to use. But I don't know about you, but me, being the fool that I agree that I am, I know that if I went through a Natasha Denona palette, I'm repurchasing that palette. So again, why am I keeping these ones? And then I come up with, well, if I go somewhere, I'm not going to take my Natasha Denona palette. That is true. I mean, unless it's like a secure, because I don't want to break that pallet by no means. You know what I mean? Like, no, no, thank you. No, thank you. Come again, right? I really got that under eye really dark over here, so let me try to darken this one up, I suppose. I kind of didn't want that line that dark, but we got to where we are by doing it, so now I gotta fix it on both eyes, I suppose. Anywho, so in that case, yes, I would take this palette with me if I were to go somewhere. That's true. Absolutely. But I still don't need as many as I have, though. And I don't need to repurchase any more, that's for sure. But I also know I would. I don't know. Just going through this collection, I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed with all the palettes that I have. And I truly just don't even know, like, when I'm wanting to use them. And I don't want to waste them. I'm going to go into Avant-Garde, I believe is the shade name. Could be saying that wrong. And we're going to press that all over the lid. And the thing is that, I mean, some of these palettes I have, right? And I don't want to get rid of them. I spent a lot of money on some of them. But, like, say nobody wants to see anything from them, right? Or from certain palettes. So then it's like, what am I supposed to do with them? Use them on days that I don't film, right? That's what you would think. But I like to do this every day. And I feel like if I'm going to, put my makeup on, I might as well show how the palette performs from a beginner's point of view. And I do try to use different shadows out of palettes for the most part, so that you can see how they perform, because every palette is different. Okay. I'm just trying to get them the same. It never happens, I know. I'm well aware, but we can pretend like I get it the same. But yeah, I'm just really... I guess I'm having a hard time because, like, I kind of thought I wanted to use a palette today, but then I thought, oh, I can't. Because nobody wants to see the palette. But then I thought, well, I can just create the look and not name the palette, right? I'm assuming I can. And just say it, describe the shades, and then if you should have it in your collection. But what I'm wondering is do you have the same problem I have? Like, do you have palettes from brands that, people don't support anymore? And do you use them? I mean, you probably do if you're not filming. I mean, again, nobody's going to know what you really have on your eyes, technically, unless you tell them. But then what if somebody says they like your eye look and then ask what palette you're using? What do you do then? I'm just curious. But I do like this eye look a lot. I love this palette. Alright. I'm going to go into Holt for my inner corner. I don't know. I've just been really... And I'm like, when I sat down today, I really did. I said, what palette am I going to use? I have no idea, right? Here's my other thing. How do you have no idea what palette you're going to use when you have a collection as large as mine? I was sitting, I mean, I'm almost like beating myself up because I'm like, what are you talking about? Grab a palette and put it on your face. Like, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. But in a sense, it kind of is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just have a bad day, an off day. We all have them, right? I will say I do love this palette. I really do. And like I said, out of all of Sigma's palettes, I would say that that probably is my favorite, the new mod. I think I'm going to use the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I've kind of been, oh, shoot, you know what I didn't do? I'm going to stamp, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Hopefully I can still do it. I forgot I did that. Grunge along the upper lash line. I'm going to try anyway. Hopefully I didn't just mess that up by putting mascara down. Probably did, but that's alright. We'll figure out a way to fix it, I suppose. I barely put any on, so surely it shouldn't have affected that much. But then again, with my luck, it probably did. And I'm just pushing it right up in that lash line. And I'm just doing this because I find that it really does make my lashes look just a tad bit thicker when I do kind of push a darker shade up in there. And I kind of like it because I can't wear falsies, so you know, I'm kind of stuck doing whatever I can with whatever mascara. Like, I'm working with whatever mascara I have. Alright, now back to mascara. But yeah, I just don't know what palettes to use, and if they're not new. And I do want to, you know, make sure I'm showing you the palette to the best of my ability, again, from a beginner's point of view. Like how I'm looking at the palette, how I try to figure it out. Because I know it's not easy. I did just order the 2 new Viseart palettes. It's San Francisco and London, I think. They're the little petite ones. I like them. I did enjoy the one I just bought though too. And I like, again, I like their formula, Viseart's formula too. I like Sigma's formula. Okay. I think it's as good as it's going to get. I'm going to put a little bit of this on the lower lash line. I really wanted to, I mean, I wanted to, but the shirt I'm wearing doesn't really call for it. But I wanted to do a look today, to be honest, that I could use that turquoise Pat McGrath mascara with, because that's the only one I haven't used. But it wouldn't have went with my shirt, so I didn't do it. Because I have to match my look to my clothes for some reason. And I haven't gotten out of that yet, so I kind of am growing on this mascara though. At first I wasn't a fan of it, but the more I'm using it, the more I am kind of liking it. It's not my favorite, but I am liking it. I mean, mascara can only do so much, when your eyelashes are not really there. So, it is what it is there. So, on a brighter side, though, I am so excited because I hit pan on two of my older Hourglass palettes. And I did that a couple weeks ago, but I mean, I barely got a little bit left. Okay. Now, my problem with this is what do I do with these once I use them? Because, I mean, I still have, 4 or 5, Lord have mercy, 5 other powders in here. And I was wondering, I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if these are metallic, or not metallic, magnetic. Lord have mercy, magnetic, and can pull them out, and then it just be an empty one. And then I was wondering if it is possible, because see, I have these mini little ones here, and I'm wondering if that can't fit in. Well, they're littler, I think, even. Maybe not. Could just look littler. But if I could take them from here and put them in there. I'm just curious. In all honesty, I mean, I keep out of this one, I don't really need the 2 finishing powders. I can use them, but I don't. But I do wonder, I would like to keep the 2 blushes, obviously. And I just don't see, I mean, I can give it to family, but it's without the bronzer, I'm not, you know what I mean? It's you're not really giving much. But at the same time, I kind of want to move on to, this year's palettes that I got, too. So, I don't know. What do you all do with them? Or have you went through them? Have you not? I don't know. That was new to me. But I was excited that I did it because I don't hit pan in a lot of stuff, to be fair and honest. I have hit pan in the Charlotte Tilbury, the Airbrush Flawless Finish. I've went through one full one of this, and then I've hit pan in this one. And then I hit pan in, this is the other thing, in the Film Star. Look at this, y'all. It's broke apart. But look how much of the highlighter I have left. What am I supposed to do with that? Oh, I tell you. But yeah, I'm just having a really down day for some reason today. I can't figure out what to do, really. Maybe that's I just don't, in general, to be honest. But I do feel better. That eye look is, really pretty, I think. I think I did a really good job on it, too, and that's shocking in itself. What do you think? You like it? I like it. Let's get real. I like the sparkly shade. We all know that. I could just sit there and look at that shade forever. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. It's just an older palette, but sometimes we gotta revisit them because it did get me thinking about my purchasing again. And I'm beginning to really fear, maybe a note buy. Except I can never do that or guarantee that because I'm going to buy Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath. But then I thought, okay, what if I did a no buy next year? Except for those 2 brands. And I try to use up all this other stuff that I have. I can't buy any kind of, lipstick because I got plenty of them. Lip liners, lip glosses. And see how much of it I can use up in a year's time by only using what I have. And then eyeliners, I don't think I need to buy any eyeliners either. the same with like foundations, primers, mascaras. I just need to go through and get rid of some because I've got way too many and I guarantee it they're old. But my next question is what if you never open a mascara, it doesn't go bad until you open it? And is that right? Let me know, because I'm confused on that. Or is it like once you get it, like, I mean, it's got like what, a 6-month shelf life, I think, 3 to 6. But if you never open it, is it good until you do? So if you had it like a year, would it still be good? Like, I'm curious on that, because some of them, like, obviously I can get rid of them. They were just samples, so like I really don't. It's not gonna break my heart to get rid of them. I don't like to waste, so that kind of breaks my heart. But like, I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. But I'm really thinking like a no buy, except for maybe those two brands next year, and just to see what I could go through in a year's time. Because I started looking around, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I'm 42. I'll be 43 in December. Out of all the makeup I have right now, I couldn't use it all starting today until the day I die. I couldn't go through it all. I know I could. So it leads me to believe that something's got to give. And it has to be me. I don't know. I'm curious. Alright, I'll let you go. I'm rambling. If this video helped in any way, or I highly suggest this palette. I will say that I love this palette. I do. So if you are thinking about it, it is a very nice palette. However, if you do happen to have maybe the Dream palette, for sure, you probably don't need this one. I will say this is a more muted color story than the Dream palette. I think the Dream palette definitely can go way darker. Well, I know it can go way darker. So I will say that about it. But yet it's not, it's kind of like the retro, but not really. It's almost exactly like the Dream palette, except lighter, to be honest. Just lighter shades, like, to it. So anyway, I really enjoy it though, and it came out technically first. So, you know, if you are thinking about it, I think that you would create very beautiful looks with it nonetheless. But I will see you in the next one. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all, that way you're notified when I do upload. I upload every day but Sunday. And I will see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll be in a better mood. Or a better spirit, because I'm not in a bad mood. Anyway, till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.